I don't know if this is a good idea or a bad idea, but I like to make a video after our last cruise vacation sharing how much we spent. I think it's always interesting to see what people spend on these kind of things, how much money they make, how much money they spend, etc. So in this video, I'm going to share the exact cost of our last trip on Oasis of the Seas. 7 nights out of Miami, Eastern Caribbean, in 2 connecting Central Park balcony staterooms. So let's set the scene. I guess, first of all, welcome to Liberty of the Seas here on our next sailing. But let's set the scene. So this cruise left in late February of 2022. I booked it, I would say, a year prior. So we were kind of at the heart of the pandemic. And I think that reflects in the pricing that I'm going to share with you today. So now, as usual, I say there's 3 main components to the pricing for a cruise. Number 1 is the cruise itself. That's the cruise fare, the taxes, the port fees, etc. Number 2 is the flights, the travel, the Ubers, the hotels, and number 3 is the excursions and the onboard spending. You break it up however you want to, but that's how I think of it. Now for the first component, the cruise fare, with taxes and fees, ours came out to $1560.24 for each of the 2 staterooms. I'm going to add these somewhere on the screen because I can't add these in my head. Okay, next up are the flights, and as you know, I don't really like to pay for flights, so we used Rapid Rewards points to fly Southwest, and we took advantage of a companion pass. So, one way, we used 11,829 Rapid Rewards points times 3, plus $5.60 times 4 to pay for the taxes for all of us. The other way, we used 24,983 Rapid Rewards points and 27,918 Rapid Rewards points times 3, I think, because my companion pass had expired, plus another $5.60 each. I'll add all these things up on the screen, but I don't really know if you really care about Rapid Rewards points, other than I use them to fly for essentially free. Once we got down to Florida, we stayed at the Holiday Inn, and for that I used a free IHG night that comes along with a credit card. Now there's a $50 annual fee that comes with that, so we'll have to add that in here too. I think as we're discussing the travel piece, that it's only fair to include insurance of $148.77, Uber. Holy cow, Ubers were uber expensive this trip. So we flew into Fort Lauderdale because that's where Southwest goes to in South Florida. But the cruise is out of Miami. So an Uber one way was $102.18. On the way back, it was $88.15. It's like a 25 minute ride, but dang, that's expensive. And then lastly, we had the airport parking. We park in the economy lot because I'm cheap. That was $60. And then we had lunch on the way back because there are no lounges in the Fort Lauderdale airport that I know of. And that was $22.31. So the last component is the onboard spending and excursions and cash. With this trip, I booked it with a travel agent who gets pretty good deals, pretty good group rates. And because of that, we got like $150 to $170 of onboard credit per stateroom. So that took a big bite out of our daily gratuities and onboard spending. But we did book 2 excursions with this one. The first excursion was a Magens Bay beach break, and because of the COVID protocols at the time, we had to book through Royal Caribbean. So I reserved that one ahead of time. And then because the kids had such a great time at that one, we wanted to do another beach break when we got to St. Martin. So that's why our onboard spending was a little bit higher, because that was an extra, I don't know, 60 or 90 bucks on top of what we would normally spend. So our onboard spending was $266.12. That's even after factoring in that $300+ credit that we got from our travel agent. Her credit also included 2 free specialty dining dinners for Allie and I, so you'll see those in the videos, but know that we were not charged for those. And then we spent about $61 in cash. Internet package was $97.93. I bought that ahead of time on a WOW sale. So adding all these up, and I'll put the right number on the screen if I've screwed this up, I get about $4,011.74. Now, is that a good deal? Is that a bad deal? I guess it really kind of depends on your perspective. When Allie and I were cruising without kids, we did it the cheapest way. We'd always stay in an interior stateroom. We rarely went on Royal Caribbean excursions, and we'd usually spend $1,500 to $2,500, depending on the length, depending on what we were doing, etc. So, $4,000 in today's economy with 4 people in a Central Park balcony stateroom, I feel pretty good about. I think we got a break on the pricing because of the COVID situation and what they were doing just to try and fill the ships. But there you have it. That's the total for that trip. I will make another one of these after our Liberty of the Seas trip, which we are currently on. If you enjoyed this, please leave a like, please leave a comment below, or if you think this is ridiculous and I shouldn't be making these videos, let me know that too so I don't waste my time or waste yours. Thanks for joining me. Until the next video, travel safe.